This is a KPRC2 News update.
Happening right now at 6 o'clock, the man accused of shooting and killing 4 members of his own family and leaving their bodies in a burning Southwest Houston home is now dead. Good evening and thank you for joining us right here on Click2Houston.com. I'm Chris Gutierrez. Police say they were preparing to arrest a murder suspect this morning when he shot himself inside a truck. It happened on Alder Drive near Gulfton Street in Southwest Houston, not too far away from where the Ascanio family was killed. KPRC2's Taisha Walker has the details tonight.
He was the son of the woman killed and the brother of those 2 young victims. Relatives tell us that the gun that he used to kill them and himself today was the same one that belonged to his stepfather, who is also dead. A quadruple homicide suspect dead after a fatal shot to the head. The suspect, who relatives identified as 23-year-old William Ascanio, died in the same manner as his mother, father-in-law, and 2 siblings last Saturday. It's closure, although painful for grieving relatives.
Never thought he would kill himself, you know.
Surveillance video shows a white Nissan Titan driving in the 7500 block of Imogene Street Saturday morning. Minutes later, the same vehicle leaves the neighborhood. 4 members of the Ascanio family were shot to death in their home on that street. A fire was then set to the home to cover up the crime.
Our investigators started to immediately start investigating that crime scene. And through witnesses and through evidence, we were to establish a suspect.
As officers were approaching Ascanio's vehicle, which was found an 11-minute drive from his home, police say the 23-year-old shot himself with the same weapon police suspect was used to kill his family. Ascanio died at a hospital. Relatives believe they know why he may have gunned down his parents and younger siblings.
He was going through depression and nobody noticed that, like mom and dad.
Relatives tell us they plan to lay that family of 4 to rest next week. In Southwest Houston, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
Thank you, Taisha. Also developing tonight, a 3rd man has now been arrested in the death of a New Orleans police detective and his friend. Khalil Nelson is that 3rd suspect right here. 2 others have already been charged. KPRC2's Bill Barajas watched as Nelson appeared in court today.
Well, that 3rd and final suspect, Khalil Nelson, went before a probable cause judge earlier today. He is facing 2 counts of capital murder and 1 charge of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. He was denied bond and is now behind bars at the Harris County Jail.
Please come up.
This is Khalil Nelson. The 19-year-old stood quietly as the accusations against him were read out loud.
This defendant and 2 co-defendants attempted to rob these complainants, who were, I believe at least one of them was a peace officer. As a result of this defendant and the co-defendant's conduct, 2 individuals lost their lives.
Court documents show Nelson was arrested by Houston police on Wednesday. Nelson and 2 others who are already behind bars, 21-year-old Anthony Jenkins and 19-year-old Frederick Jackson, are accused of robbing and killing New Orleans police detective Everett Briscoe and his friend DJ Rocuffy while they were eating at the Grotto restaurant in the Galleria area. HPD says 1 or more of the suspects fired at the victims, hitting them both. The suspects then took off. Briscoe died at the scene, and Rocuffy died from his injuries on August 31st. Jenkins and Jackson were already out on bond for other crimes at the time of the shooting. Nelson had previously been arrested and charged with criminal trespassing.
This particular suspect was out on a misdemeanor bond.
Crime Stoppers director Andy Kahn telling KPRC the arrests were thanks to tips to Crime Stoppers that named all 3 suspects.
It's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's Crime Stoppers tip that led to the arrest of the now 3 suspects involved.
And Kahn says he hopes this arrest brings closure to the victims' family. He says they must now determine how to pay out one of the largest rewards in Crime Stoppers history. What they will try to figure out is whether that $100,000 will go to multiple people or just 1. In downtown, Bill Barajas, KPRC 2 News.
Thank you, Bill. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced the Justice Department has filed suit against Texas over our state's new abortion law. That 30-page complaint accuses Texas of adopting a, quote, unprecedented scheme to protect the law from legal challenges by giving the power to citizens to sue people who have an abortion and sue people who help them. The federal government is now asking the court to declare the law invalid and stop Texas from enforcing it.
This leaves women in Texas unable to exercise their constitutional rights and unable to obtain judicial review at the very moment they need it. this kind of scheme to nullify the Constitution of the United States is one that all Americans, whatever their politics or party, should fear.
This lawsuit comes after the Supreme Court just last week refused to block that law. President Biden has vowed a, quote, whole of government response to the law. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton released a statement saying the president should focus on fixing the border crisis, Afghanistan, the economy, and countless other disasters. Meanwhile, down in Galveston County now, the health officials have confirmed the county's first COVID-19 related death in a child. The girl was only 4 years old. She died Tuesday morning at a home in Bay Cliff and was then taken to the medical examiner, who confirmed it was a COVID death.
This is, again, it's very sad. It's very sobering. I hope that this will be an opportunity for people to start putting away some of, the anger that everyone has about COVID and realize that this is serious, and do everything that you can to prevent this, and also, go home and hug your kids.
Galveston County health officials do not believe the girl contracted the virus at school. They also say other people in her household had coronavirus. At this time, it does not appear the girl was taken to the doctor before her death, and it's unclear if she showed any symptoms or had any underlying health conditions as well. Now to a health alert as we prepare to head into flu season. Health experts are predicting a record 600,000 hospitalizations this year because of the flu. Right now, our hospitals are already overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients, and if those predictions are correct, it could be devastating for our healthcare system. Our health reporter Haley Hernandez explains.
There's a couple factors that could make this flu season bad. One is that not many people are wearing masks anymore. Another is that we hardly had any flu last year, and there's some theory that that could weaken our immune system since it hasn't been exposed to the virus in a couple of years. And to be honest with you, it couldn't come at a worse time. It cannot be overstated. The situation inside hospitals is depressing, dismal, not good. It's true the numbers are stabilizing, but that's nothing to celebrate considering how high they've steadied. While this surge is often compared to last winter, President and CEO of Harris Health says he's never seen anything like it.
We, Harris Health System, we have had the most number of COVID-related deaths ever throughout any 5-day period in the pandemic. So yes, patients are younger. Patients have less past medical histories, but they're still dying of COVID-19.
So what are we going to do? He says the solution isn't as simple as bringing in more staff. There's no place to put them. Every hospital echoing the same thing. There's no more room for sick people and a dwindling momentum from staff.
The public needs to understand they're exhausted. They are running on fumes, and it is extremely difficult to marshal the energy day in, day out to care for people, particularly people who mostly are unvaccinated.
And with about a month to go until the start of flu season, hospital leaders say they need as much of your cooperation to bring down hospitalizations as you can give.
We really are going to need to make sure everybody gets their flu shots. We're going to have to make sure that we continue doing some common sense behaviors.
We're struggling right now handling the patient load that is coming at us. I can't even imagine having a bad flu season and what that would do.
Keep your eyes peeled for a flu shot. You'll start seeing them pop up over the next few weeks. They typically show up in pharmacies and doctors' offices around this time of year because it takes 2 weeks for your body to build immunity to protect yourself against the flu. That season typically starts next month. Reporting from the Texas Medical Center, I'm Haley Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
Thank you, Haley. Let's get to Frank now with a look at our weather. Hey, Frank.
Hey, it's been a very lovely day. It's going to be a nice evening, nice one tomorrow, and then Saturday gets a little iffy by evening. Then we're in for the rain. Look at this, high temperatures this afternoon, 93, 96, 94, just 2 degrees away from a record, but it felt awfully nice with that low humidity out there. So that continues, only 37%, 94 degrees at Southwest Houston. Galveston has had a nice day. Humidity is a little higher, but the dew point right around 71. So all in all, we're in pretty good shape. Low 90s across the board as we speak. We got these dew points in the 60s, 70 an exception in Pearland, 71 in Galveston, but the air is still very dry, and with this north wind, it will keep it dry. So that will allow temperatures to really come on down again overnight tonight. That high is bringing in that northeast and easterly wind. That's going to turn on us a bit as we go toward Sunday and Monday, as you'll see. Overnight, mid-60s once again, 70 downtown, 74 at Hobby, 80 in Galveston. So that's what we wake up to. And then just like today, we'll end up around 94 for a high temperature. So it doesn't change a whole lot. Olaf is going to affect Cabo San Lucas. Right now it has 90-mile-an-hour winds, expected to have 100. Mindy is just barely hanging on here, a little tropical depression, not doing much. Larry has moved away from Bermuda, so that's good news, and we'll watch that X, although it looks like it will miss really the United States, but a 60% chance of development. The latest American model does not do much with this system. The Hurricane Center says a 30% chance of development from right around the Caribbean. There's nothing there. So we'll keep an eye on that. More than anything, all of this moisture is going to head our way. I wanted to point out Olaf. You can see there's Cabo San Lucas right there, and there's the eye of this storm. So tonight, this will affect that area with 100-mile-an-hour winds, and as much as 15 inches of rain is a possibility. Speaking of rain, we're just full of moisture over the Caribbean and the Gulf, and that high that's bringing us the lovely weather right now will start to bring in a more easterly flow as we get towards Sunday. You can see just a coastal chance for a shower Sunday, but then we see more of that on Monday and Tuesday, and it continues right on through Wednesday. So this starts to add up, and it looks like it'll even rain right on in through the rest of the week and into the weekend. So we're just in for a long period of rain, really starting Sunday night and going right through the next week. The American rainfall futurecast, you'll notice this yellow area here, that's 8 to 10 inches of rain. Winnie to Beaumont to Lake Charles. In the Houston area, 3 to 5 inches will be fairly common. The European is a little more aggressive, especially for the Houston area, with a lot of that yellow area for much of us. So we're ways away from it. It's Thursday. We're talking about next week, but keep an umbrella handy and count on a soggy week for sure. Exactly how much rain where, we'll just have to continue to monitor. 88 degrees at 7, 86 at 8, then look for 80s into the late evening with super weather for your hair. And overnight, looking for anywhere from 65 to 70 degrees, right around 68 for Houston, 94 the high. Then 20% Saturday goes to 60 on Sunday, 80 and 70 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then it starts to come down a little bit, but a lot of rain in that forecast, so get ready for it.
Will do. Thank you, Frank, and thank you for watching this KPRC2 webcast. We'll see you tonight after the Cowboys